Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction to Boku no Hero Academia, Boku no Hero Academia, I feel like I slurred that a bit, chapter 220 this time around. So I'm excited. Last time we saw Gigantomachia seemingly upset with the League of Villains. Maybe he's testing them though, because this one's titled My Villain Academia, so I'm interested. It seems like we're going to be developing the villains a bit more as main characters, and I like that once again. What could make an arc villain group? I've praised that idea a lot, but what could make it even better, especially since they've gone after Giran as we've seen and captured him, is if this arc villain group, just kind of like the Shiei Hasaikai was, is an arc villain group meant to serve as a venue for developing both the heroes, but developing the villains too. I think that's really, really cool. So, yeah, I actually really like that idea. So I'm excited. Let's see what we get. So we got the first panels of Shigaraki. That hand will destroy everything. And he reaches out. We have the title cracked. Alright. Guess that was just for artistic effect. Before we continue from where we left off, let's see how we got to our present situation. Chapter 220, My Villain Academia. Guys who hate chocolate. How'd you get in? They're the League of Villains. Alright? Guys who love cockroaches. In this world, there are those who have various value systems. Right? Horikoshi came up with the CRC English acronym himself. However, he didn't provide an actual English translation of the Japanese term, so we could only guess as to what he was thinking. The Japanese translates to the rejection of the grotesque group. Basically, they're the My Hero Academia KKK. Okay. So they're like some crazy racist group. That could somewhat make sense. They are the Creature Rejection Coalition. Okay, otherwise known as the CRC. This generation coelacanths. There's a lizard with them. How repulsive. Okay, as the name says, they're a shitty bunch of bastards who stand for the discrimination and assault of strange-looking humans. Alright. So that would make sense, again, that groups like this would still appear in the world, even though it doesn't make logical sense. Hate doesn't make logical sense. So, okay. By the way, I'm not a fan of the term grotesque either. Although almost everyone uses it on a day-to-day basis, it should be avoided in formal situations at the very least. We're looking for things to sell. Is this much worth, or is this worth much? Says, Compress. We're just a bit broke at the moment, you see. And yes, I know. It's not cool to be a robber. I didn't want to stoop this low either. This is sacred ground. All of you violating it. Get out. And then, Shigaraki grabs the guy. And again, I like the, idea of what separates them from normal criminals is that they now have a purpose. Kind of like what we got the development of with Shigaraki after meeting Stain, where he was trying to figure out what his purpose and reason was for destroying things. So I like that they're separating them as almost sort of noble criminals, even though they do terrible things, because they have a purpose. So it's adding an area of gray that I think is cool. But Shigaraki grabs the guy's head. We'll leave when we're finished. If you don't want us here, then get out of our way. Then Twice and Toga take out some of the henchmen. Compress as well. Yeah, Compress just freaking compressed that guy's hand and his fingers fall off. Shigaraki disintegrates the guy's head. I'm Spinner, a member of the League. Today, like most days, I'm an accomplice in crime. I like that we're seeing from Spinner's point of view finally. He's one of the few that we haven't developed like at all. The hell, man? I thought religions were supposed to be profitable, says Twice, opening the cabinets. They're just barely scraping by. Ah, says Toga. It broke. She broke one of her needle things. Even my robotic arm is squeaking terribly. I'll need to ask Giran for a brand new one, says Compress. But we don't have the money for that now, do we? And I like throughout the course of the series, another thing that I feel like Horikoshi's been doing on purpose is, again, to use the word grotesque, Shigaraki's face was really wrinkled and dried out, and like every facial expression he made was super exaggerated and evil looking. And then throughout the series, his faces looked like both in a actual physical sense, but also in more of an emotional sense. His faces looked softer and softer throughout the series, like showing his change as a villain and becoming more dynamic and different. So I found it interesting that, like, compare the way he looks now or during the Shie Hisaikai arc to early Shigaraki, and he's changed a lot over the course of the series. Just the way he's visually presented. How long are we going to keep living like this, says Spinner. Until the very end, says Shigaraki. If we'd joined hands with the Hisaikai, we'd probably be feasting on sushi right about now, says, Compress. You're kidding, right? It's just, who would have thought the formidable League of Villains, that once terrorized the nation, actually looks like this behind the scenes? How could we possibly face all of our adoring fans? Junk, and we just have, Twice and Toga digging through things. This is cute. I'll take it. And she takes this necklace thing. Yeah, I agree. You look like a granny. Toss it. Well, the gang's all here, says Dabi. I guess I'm the only one who's been dutifully working to gather allies. Yeah, right. All you've been doing's going around burning people to death. I haven't seen you bring a single person back here yet, says Twice. That's because they're all trash. Nothing but living, breathing garbage, without a shred of ambition in their bodies. Are you sure you're not just a terrible judge of character, says Toga? You're the last person I want to hear that from. As you can see, the League is in shambles. It's been a month since Kurogiri was captured. Everything falls apart without Kurogiri to babysit. Now that we've lost all for one, we're exceedingly weak. In order to realize our ambitions, we must first advance to the next stage. He left behind a great power for us. You need only give the order, and I will go retrieve it. This is all for your sake, Tomura Shigaraki. But when all was said and done, he failed, and thanks to that, we're having a real hard time searching for the doctor. Also, what's interesting, Dabi used that one not mistype, but because that makes it sound like Kurogiri. But he used that one teleportation that All for One used that time. He called out somebody's name and they teleported him out of there. Dabi did. So they have to have somebody else who had that teleportation ability or something. But we'll see. You must be so lonely now that your babysitter... She called him a babysitter too. Your babysitter Kurogiri's gone, huh, Tomura? But anyway, what's this doctor guy like? Says Toga. He was Master's attending physician and a very cautious man. The only contact we ever had with him was through the old computer at our old hideout. He was the one who developed and oversaw the Nomu project. How cautious can one guy be? He could at least reach out to us. His employer's favorite disciple struggling over here. You didn't even deny that you were lonely. Lonely Tomura. Hey, what the hell are we even doing? Says Spinner. I'm here because I was inspired by Stain. Huh? I was raised in the boonies, where people still cling to their antiquated values. I was discriminated against and labeled as the dumb lizard man, and I thought that was just the natural way of the world. My heart was always empty, until I saw Stain's last moments on TV. He was trying to change the world all on his own. That night I discovered for the first time how suffocating this world really is, and knowing that I just couldn't sit still. That's why I'm here. So basically, you're nothing but a Stain cosplayer. An empty, cheap imitation, says Dabi. You're damn right. I've always been empty. And that's exactly why I can't understand this lazy attitude, he says. And I like that he's actually kind of looking like Stain here. I thought we were going to blow a huge hole through this shitty society. Answer me, Shigaraki. What are we doing? Where are we headed? And we see the reactions of the other four. I told you already, he says. Alright. I searched, and I finally found you, and the place is shaking. I've been waiting for the signal. So you were All for One's successor, and Gigantomachia just destroys the entire building? Interesting. Alright. So this is that power. Hey, Kurogiri. What's this all about, says Dabi. Can't believe this is what Kurogiri was seeking on his journey. Apparently, this is one of the battle assets that Master left behind. And we have the radio buzzing. I devote myself to all for one. Now, successor. Prove to me that you are also worthy of that devotion. Huh? and that about covers how we got here. It was a long explanation, but why? This is terrible. My master, why? Why? He is too weak. And of course, Gigantomachia is bawling because the League of Villains don't live up to his idea of all for one. What the hell's this guy's deal? What's even happening right now? And the radio was still saying brat, but it's staticky. Sounds like you're in trouble, Shigaraki. This is where our story, which had been at a standstill, Doctor, starts to take off. What Shigaraki heard was none other than the elusive doctor's voice. Interesting. Once again, I said it a bunch already. So yeah, that was really, really good. I am into this storyline. The villains are such good characters, so I'm really excited to see them get development. All of it was great. Nothing at all to complain about whatsoever. Yeah, I love the League of Villains. And I like I was saying, the way we finally get to develop Spinner a bit, because he's one of the few that hasn't been developed basically at all of the villains. I'd like to see some compressed development too, even though we've had a little bit. In addition to Spinner there, I like the way I was saying Shigaraki, both in appearance and in emotion, has been getting softer throughout the series. But his journey's a cool one, from being a shitty villain at the beginning. Like, the whole point of the first real villain arc was that he was terrible at being a villain. He was just trying to be what the idea of a villain is, but with no real goal. And throughout the series, he's gained a goal, he's gained allies, he's learned what those allies and his values mean to him from seeing how he's different from the Shie Hisaikai, or from this other group that they randomly took out. So I really, really like the way that Shigaraki, again, is developing into a nuanced villain who's not totally evil, who has his own plans, but at the end of the day, he's still a villain rather than just a shitty, like, stereotypical idea of a villain. It's a really, really cool way to develop the sort of main antagonist, almost kind of in a way, for the future. So it's really, really cool. Almost like a secondary protagonist, but on the opposite side of things. So again, really, really cool. I loved all of it. And I hope you enjoyed it too. Like the video, and comment to tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts and reactions. Subscribe for more Boku no Hero Academia, anime and manga on the channel. Much, much more on the channel too. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord about this series or anything else, then just ask and I can give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.